everyone, welcome to IDFC First Bank presents Leaders of Tomorrow Season 11. I'm Sananda Jayaseelan. On the show tonight, I'm in conversation with two businesses, two entrepreneurs. First up is NTT Data Payment Services. Also joining us today is Cosmic Nutracos. Dewang Neralla, CEO of NTT Data, joining us here on the show. First off, Dewang, good to see you again. I know it's been a while since you and I have chatted, so thanks for taking the time.
Thank you so much.
A recent report suggesting that India's digital payments market will triple to $10 trillion by 2026. And my question to you, Dewang, really to kick off today's interview is, how do you feel India is really positioned to be able to tap that opportunity?
First of all, I think we need to give credit to both the government, the Honorable Prime Minister, as well as basically RBI for deepening the digital payments overall across the country. One of the fundamental revolutions for us has been basically like right since the time of demonetization to basically last was when you saw COVID. I think the adoption of digital payments in this country has grown exponentially. One, basically there was at some point in time certain set of a fear with the population in terms of what should I do with digital payments? Would there be a fraud? Would my account be hacked into, or somebody will hack into my account, take out the money and everything? All those sort of issues were there. I think a lot of things have been assuaged over a period of time. Added with that, a convenience of basically doing basically the digital payments and everything. And third is basically, I think we should thank all the payment players in the industry ecosystem, the entire ecosystem that has helped basically the digital payments grow.
Sure.
If you look at from the Indian diaspora, our population is far more geared to look at accepting digital payments from an acquiring side, from a merchant side, to basically on the other side, even the customers are willing to do that. Earlier, for example, let's just take a small example. You would go to a kirana store and for a small change, you would typically maybe get a toffee or something else. Now that toffee culture is gone, and from toffee culture, we've gone down to making a payment using UPI QR code, and online immediately you can make the payment. And for a merchant, it's a benefit because for them, they get the money instantaneously into their account. So I think a whole lot of things have changed over a period of time, and then that's what has driven digital payment. I'm sure this is going to go further and further as we deepen digital payments across basically maybe tier 3 to tier 6 cities or to, towns and other areas, as well as basically most of the businesses have started accepting digital payments right now.
If you look at what's happening globally, India's payment systems is being celebrated. How do you think that's really come about, and what has really allowed for that?
I think I'll just use one word, UPI. I think real-time payments, India, for example, if I go look at the different countries out there, whether it's Singapore, you have Pay Now, you had UK, you had faster payments, US is still starting to set up on real-time payment. These were all laggards in terms of the real-time payments. If you look at India started out before UPI, we had IMPS, immediate payments, because people leave the essence of what NPCI did with IMPS and what they innovated there, because the whole UPI rails and everything is built upon IMPS. And that is the essence of real-time payments, because getting the money real-time into somebody's account and settling that, seeing that color of money in their account was very, very important for both the customers as well as the retail people. For example, today if you look at maybe an NEFT, you still have a lag of 30 minutes to maybe an hour out there. But with IMPS or UPI, you don't have that. So I think UPI has helped us. And of course, with UPI, that has thrust us so much. And the number of transactions have grown up. For example, even if you look at the month of January or February, we had seen close to about 800 crore transactions in UPI alone in India. So when you look at those sort of transactions going through, and we've beaten economies like China and US in terms of digital payments, and I think that is what has brought everything into the forefront. People thought India was always a laggard, but from the kind of technology and the kind of robustness of the technology that we created, I think that's been the highlight, and that's what has taken India right in the top of the, become the benchmark and global trendsetter for digital payments.
Let's talk about UPI, the recent decision to link real-time digital payments between Singapore and India, and travelers really from G20 countries being allowed to utilize this service. I want to discuss your views and your thoughts on that, and the fact that India's digital public good really now is becoming global. India's payment system, UPI, etc., becoming more global and getting a lot of global attention. And your views on that, Dewang?
Yeah, so I think if you look at, I think we have a lot more Indian population going out of the country. So there are two, three things happening. One, basically Indian travelers who go down to Singapore and various globally for business or maybe leisure trips out there. And second is basically there are people who are coming into India very clearly. So globally, alternate payment forms have really taken up, I think, leap forward in the last few years compared to basically using your debit card or a credit card kind of payments. In India, when you look at specifically with UPI right now, and especially when you're linking up with maybe Singapore and all, I think the comfort of going down and using a UPI app to make a payment is far, far better compared to basically going down and the hassle of getting the foreign currency, getting a forex card and trying to do that. Because the issue of basically, say today you have, people are comfortable using their mobile phone for making the payment. And if it becomes pervasive all across the ecosystem out there, I think a lot more Indian customers will benefit out of the whole thing. And especially the link with Singapore it's a kind of a dual link wherein basically we're talking about interoperable fund transfers between UPI and Pay Now right now, and I think similar networks will evolve over a period of time. And with this sort of a thing happening, we'll see a lot of cross-border fund flow happening. So in fund flow from India to outside as well as outside to India as well. So and that makes it the whole friction point in terms of the traditional networks that were there. I think those will get dissipated, and that's the most important thing which you need to note, because with the kind of technology that we have brought in on board right now, and the kind of speed at which you can really move the money around, I think that's what is going to be defining the whole future trends, I would say that.
What regulation challenges continue to really plague the digital payment system, Dewang? I know a lot of innovation has taken place, a lot of regulation and a lot of, really opening up of the space, if I can call it that, has taken place. But it still continues to be a highly regulated sector, of course, in a highly regulated space rather. Your views really?
I would comment only on one thing. I think more or less other regulations are basically well-meaning, and the government and RBI definitely has a lot more effort in terms of creating those kind of regulations and all. But from a payment aggregator and a payment player's point of view, see, the most important thing is basically the revenues that are going to be generated out of any kind of transactions. Today, a payment aggregator or a payment service provider depends on transaction revenue as an overall, basically their means of income and everything else. There is a substantial amount of money being spent by payment aggregators and payment service providers on creating the infrastructure. Now, if it's like saying when you lay down a road infrastructure out there, you need basically, actually, you are okay to pay a toll on that kind of a thing. Similar is a case of digital payments also. So rather than creating a physical infrastructure, you're creating a digital infrastructure out there. You're creating digital railroads out there. When you're creating digital railroads out there, you need to be able to understand that there are some people that are at least everybody's put in humongous amount of rupees and dollars out into building that kind of infrastructure, and they need to be at least making some sort of a business sense out of the whole thing.
Okay.
So there will be some amount of incentive for industry to keep on basically putting and investing monies in terms of growing the infrastructure, and that I think that's the only request from my side, from the regulatory side. I think other than that, I don't think practically we have one of the most forward-looking regulations, especially in payments, I would say that, because from what Reserve Bank has done, or maybe the government is doing in terms of making sure that payments are available and payments are enabled at every nook and corner of the country is really, really commendable. I think I don't think we should have people should have any heartburn on that.
I want to discuss the e-rupee and how it will go a long way perhaps towards ensuring financial inclusion. I want to get your thoughts on that.
Digital rupees, CBDC as it's called right now, e-rupee. I think it's one thing we need to understand, because I was just in an event just about a month back, and I was on a panel for CBDC itself and looking at the use cases. So there is a fundamental difference when people look at between CBDC, e-rupee and maybe UPI. UPI is a transaction rails. It's basically the transaction system out there, whereas e-rupee is a sovereign currency. So there's a fundamental difference between a sovereign currency and basically looking at a technology backbone. So e-rupee can write technically on maybe a UPI technology backbone also, or maybe any other kind of a blockchain kind of a backbone. use cases could be very and many out there. Number one, basically, for example, when you're looking at far-reaching, deeper pockets of the country where you're not having networks right now. Now, UPI depends entirely on, for example, your internet to be available. You do not have basically UPI. All the UPI Lite has come in right now, so you could have basically several technologies evolving. But e-rupee could find a deeper meaning out there when you look at a small pocket where you could create a wallet, and with this wallet you would have basically currencies, because the denominations are there and stored as a part of the wallet out there. This wallet could be there on the mobile phone, and there could be a form of saying how could we transfer from one wallet to other wallet using maybe a kind of IR or maybe any other kind of technology out there. There could be some evolution out there. So in terms of transferring money from one pocket to other pocket, like we are paying cash right now.
Okay.
One benefit of CBDC for a lot of people out there is basically, since it is backed by a sovereign guarantee, there is no fear of money getting lost. For example, we've seen a run-in on something like a Silicon Valley Bank. Although India has a far more robust banking framework, people did not worry about the banks, for example. There are a lot more at the poor level, people who are worried about, oh, what happens if I put in my money and my money, the bank goes down, bank goes bust or whatever. But if they put money in maybe a e-rupee kind of a thing, that is backed by sovereign guarantee, they don't need to worry about, because that is guaranteed kind of your money out there. So I think there's other benefits which will evolve over a period of time. I think let the ecosystem build up on that.
Dewang, thanks for your time. Good catching up with you.
Thank you so much.
I'm going to take a quick break. When we come back, I'm going to talk about the beauty space in the beauty market, a conversation with Cosmic Nutracos. That's on the other side. Back in just a moment. Welcome back. With us here on IDFC First Bank presents Leaders of Tomorrow Season 11. I'm in conversation with Cosmic Nutracos. Joining us live on the show for a deep dive into the beauty and the skincare market, Dolly Kumar of Cosmic Nutracos. So good having you with us here, Dolly. And let's kickstart by really getting your views as far as the big trends for a new India when it comes to the skincare and the beauty market. You know, our overarching theme on the Leaders of Tomorrow is Ideas for New India. So I want to kickstart today's interview by asking you your ideas for a new India when it comes to the skincare and the beauty market.
So to be honest with you, I think health and wellness is growing at a very fast pace. And there was time when we used to wonder that preventive health is going to be a big boom in the industry, and the time has come. Everybody wants to be healthy.
Okay.
This whole space is growing in a big way, and also it is taking huge momentum in terms of people to be healthy, to work on wellness, and also they are being very, very particular in how they look. So it is very important now. Also we are seeing there is a huge D2C brands which are coming into marketplaces, and this whole health, beauty, wellness space is gaining momentum, and this is what the new India belong to.
I would like to take a step back and ask for you to talk about your own entrepreneurial journey and how you've built this empire up really.
When I started this company, I was very clear that I want to be into health and wellness space. We initially started with contract manufacturing, and we were B2B, doing health and nutritional supplements for other brands, be it Vestige, which was our parent company. But sooner I realized that there is a lot of potential, and we came up with the brand called Gaia. I'm very proud to say that we are the only health and wellness brand in India today which caters to the need of the people who are looking to have health and wellness in their daily lives. We are pan-India distributed brand. We are all India. We not only cater to general trade, modern trade, we also supply to army canteens. In 2016-17, we launched another brand which is called Skinella. The whole premises of Skinella was that we wanted to create a brand for teens. When we were doing a research, we found that actually there is no brand which is talking to teens. We created this brand which was with the power of superfoods, and it was 100% natural, PETA certified. So we created this whole conglomerate where we have B2B businesses, where we do private label manufacturing for food, for skincare, and for color cosmetics. So these are our B2B businesses where we do private label, and we also have two brands at retail, which is Gaia and Skinella, and hence this whole conglomerate of 500 crores in about 14 years we created. It was a very exciting journey and very fulfilling one.
How are women entrepreneurs changing the overall landscape when it comes to entrepreneurship in India? Your views on that?
For every startup there are challenges, and the biggest challenge for me was to attract talent when I stood up to create this whole conglomerate. This was my biggest challenge. I think for every organization, people is their strength, and to create this whole culture of belongingness and people to see what I envisioned 14 years back was very important. We had limited funds. We had to do right kind of marketing. We wanted to be seen at the right place, be in the right hands, and this was very critical for me, and hence we collaborated with right kind of people to gain momentum, and that is how Gaia and Skinella was established.
What has been the role of the international market when it comes to the growth of Gaia?
So, to be honest with you, Gaia, we've just about 1.5 years back, we have started international markets, but we are gaining momentum. We are growing at a very fast rate. We are actually almost doubling our turnover in international markets. We have opened Nepal, Bhutan, Myanmar, Cambodia, parts of which we are also now supplying to Dubai and getting into inroads with Middle East market. These markets have very well accepted Gaia. I was very much surprised, and I wanted to actually see what the kind of response will come from these markets, but Gaia was very well integrated in this market, and we are growing tremendously, and I see huge future for Gaia in international markets going forward.
Now, I know that healthy snacking is a huge trend, if I can call it that, and I want to get your views in terms of trends or preferences of consumers when it comes to really more healthier options, snacking, etc.
So what I'm seeing that this whole health space is really gaining momentum. In healthy snacking range, I feel this whole energy bars, granola bars, is also on the go kind of food, which is working for a very young TGs, really working very hard. We are also seeing that this whole concept of breakfast cereals is gaining momentum. Mix seeds, trail mix, sport energy drinks, these are things which are really gaining momentum in the space where we belong. But I'm also very confident that going forward, eating habits are changing. We are seeing more and more momentum in terms of people migrating to eating health foods, which is like oats, muesli for breakfast. We are also seeing that consumer is now very conscious about eating or taking cooking oil mediums, which is more healthier, like olive oil, coconut, virgin oil, and these are the future products which will help us gain momentum, like fox nuts. We are seeing that there is huge potential of peanut butter, and hence these are the kind of products which we would like to add in our portfolio in the coming years.
Skinella, another of your brands, is expanding its portfolio. Give me a sense of what other products, what range you're looking at and tapping.
So as I mentioned that Skinella, we are targeting young girls in our portfolio. So we feel that it is very, very clear in Skinella that whatever we will launch in Skinella would be do good skincare, which would be very gentle on skin, which would be vegan, which would be PETA certified, and the most important, that it would be with the power of superfoods. For young girls, it's very important to cleanse well. Half the problem is because they don't clean their skin well. So we will have lot of face washes. We will also have lot of detan face masks because they are out in the sun and they need lot of products which will help them detan. And we would have lot of products in detan. We will also now, we are working on problem skin like acne. We will create products which would help them to be their skin to be acne free. So these are the products which would be actually coming in the portfolio of Skinella, and we would be expanding it more and more for young girls, but with the power of superfoods.
A last question to you, Dolly. Any words of advice, any inspiration that you want to leave our entrepreneurs with, especially our female young women entrepreneurs?
So I just very strongly believe in that passion has a lot. It's very understated, but it is a very powerful emotion. I think please pursue your passion. And last but not the least, I want to tell this young generation that there are no shortcuts to life. Hard work, dedication, and honesty would actually take you to places.
All right, Dolly, thank you so much for your time. Completely out of time on tonight's conversation. If you have any feedback for us, do let us know. Our details on your screens as we speak. Thanks for watching. Have a good night.